Welcome everybody to the How to Create an Online Store from Your Kitchen Table webinar. I'm absolutely thrilled that you're here. Today is 3 online strategies that really work, fundamental basics to get online the right way, and some very important considerations and live Q&A at the end. Look, it may sound really obvious, but if you want to get the most from today's session, my best recommendation is to close down all your browsers, turn off Netflix, grab a notebook and pour yourself a glass of wine because we're going to be covering a lot, so stay tuned. Plus, there's a very special bonus for those who stay online until the very end. I'll be offering the first lucky 20 guests my ultimate guide to SEO, which uncovers the latest techniques on ranking with Google and how my highest source of traffic through my e-commerce business came from these strategies. So it's not one to be missed. And you do have to stay to the very end. So stay tuned. Okay, so let's dive in. First up, I want to ask you, does this sound like you? You've had a baby and now starting to think about returning to work. And, it's a bit of a quandary to be in when, you've had this gorgeous baby and perhaps you came from a corporate background or you had potentially a full-time job before you started and you're thinking that you're ready to, interact with adults and start to really return to work in some form. So perhaps you're, negotiating part-time hours with your boss, or even exploring other ways to earn money, such as running an Etsy or eBay store? Or do you just have a burning desire to do something else apart from managing the kids and the household and really want to contribute financially to the family? Or is this more like you? You've potentially dabbled in an online business, but it's never really gotten off the ground. And, perhaps you've opened an eBay store and sold a couple of things, but really felt as though it wasn't going places and you needed a bit of help. Perhaps you could never really get all the moving parts to flow, getting the branding and positioning correct, making the website look professional and convert for you and function properly. And, then there's pushing sales. Were sales slow or you'd go a whole week without selling anything at all? Don't worry, this is common in business when it's just not set up correctly. Do you just feel that you're a bit set up or do you just feel as though you're a bit fed up? Searching for suppliers that produce quality products. When it comes to sourcing overseas manufacturers, one of the biggest hurdles is the language barrier with suppliers, which can have a huge impact on business. And, just making sales through your website. You may have set up your website properly, but there's just tumbleweeds blowing in the wind. You can't sort of figure out why you're not achieving sales, even though you're putting in a bit of marketing, you're doing all the right things, you just are at your wit's end with making the website really high performing, and you're watching all those other e-commerce businesses out there just kill it. Or do you just feel as if you're a little bit overwhelmed and you're ready to throw in the towel? So, it's just too much to take on. You've got stock, you're ready to sell, you've got your website and branding, but it's just not working, and you're overwhelmed as it is with running the kids and the household and your husband and everything else that goes along with it. And, running this online business is just not working for you at the moment. And once you've sorted out your supply issues, have you had problems with just choosing the right products and the most popular products that will actually sell out? You may have found yourself in a position where you have too much stock of the kind nobody wants, which is a really big problem because then you have to somehow shift that stock. Or are you secretly wondering how all the other mums do it, juggling the drop-offs and the pickups and the commute? Mums that are returning to a traditional work and have managed to get part-time hours, the commute back and forth, as well as, dropping baby or children off at school. It's, how do they do it all? And negotiating part-time hours with their boss. can be a huge hurdle because the needs of the actual role that they're in may not suit working from. But you know it's possible. You've seen other mums do it. You hear those success stories and you really want a piece of it. You want to know how people can buy from you and what their secret is. And perhaps you're like me. You've always wanted to have your own business, perhaps even just a small business to start with. You know, I come from a family of entrepreneurs. My brother is an abseiling window cleaner and my father runs a farm. My stepdad is a technician, so it was a natural progression that at some point I'd own my own business. It was just all about timing. And have you reached a point where you've had a baby and tried to negotiate more flexible working arrangements and you have a boss who just doesn't get it? Perhaps he or she doesn't have a family of their own, so it's really hard to find that support. Or perhaps the needs of the role are too great to offer work from home conditions and it's just not feasible. So you really have to explore other options. I know for me, commuting an hour on the bus to the city while dropping off at my local kindy put an enormous amount of strain on me personally. The morning was a pure rush and often I'd be on the bus wondering, what am I doing this for? I just want to be home with my kids and I don't want to be commuting the hour back and forth to work. Perhaps you've done some number crunching and even with the government subsidy, daycare fees and working part-time just doesn't seem to be worth it, which makes for going to work feel unenjoyable and full of effort. Computer and a can-do positive attitude, anyone can kiss the 9-to-5 grind goodbye, I promise. I know because as a mum of 3, I have tried, tested and failed and succeeded. So you can learn from my mistakes. I simply know what does and doesn't work through trial and error. But let's take a step back through my journey for a moment. Things haven't always been roses. I first started when my baby girl India was born preemie. This is her and I in the hospital when she was just a couple of hours old. It was a huge shock for me that she was born at 30 weeks. I was on a ferry visiting a friend with my friend and my waters broke. There was a lot of time in hospital while she grew and a lot of thinking time. As you can imagine, it was long days in the hospital. She was ultimately a well baby, but just needed to grow, so spent a lot of time there under the care of the special care nurses. I had planned to go back to work after 6 months, but her early arrival meant I simply could not return to work. But as soon as I realised all I needed was my laptop, Wi-Fi, and willingness to knuckle down and learn. After all, I'd always wanted to be an entrepreneur, as all my family were. So my online business, Petite Bamboo, was born. I saw suppliers, I put together a BigCommerce website, and I had the saying in my head, build it and they will come. But I really started to get frustrated with the lack of sales and I spent more time on the phone to BigCommerce getting my website right than marketing my business. So I started to learn WordPress, build my own proper website that was professional, functional, and really fast loading. And I learned every online strategy that there was. Every day while India slept, I worked on YouTube and watched every digital marketing video I could find. I'd log on to my online e-course and I'd test. I can't imagine how much money, I hate to think back and look at how much money I spent, but it was a lot. To be honest, I learned from YouTube, experts in the industry, and had a thirst for knowledge. And I got big results. I started to make some serious sales through the website. I earned 20,000 real and engaged Facebook fans. I'm not into buying fans on Facebook or Instagram. I find that spammy and non-genuine. I'm all about real and authentic. And I started selling out some of my products. When I got pregnant with my third, baby Finn, I picked up a full-time job that I simply adored while juggling my side gig. But I truly wondered how I was going to return to a job in a full-time capacity now as a soon-to-be mother of 3. My world pretty much fell apart when I was fired from that job. I remember sitting on the steps of my house crying to my husband. So many thoughts plagued me. How will I contribute to my family? I love working, it's my passion. But my third being about to be born and 2 already in daycare, the thought of commuting or paying daycare fees really had me in a spin. I was really relying on going back. And you might be able to relate to this. Thoughts scrolled around in my head. What if I'm still breastfeeding? When is the right time to go back to work? I don't want to work in an office and be away from my baby. But we live in Sydney and it's so expensive and I must earn an income. And you might be able to relate to this too. How you justify the daycare fees on a part-time wage? Me personally, I had a mortgage that I needed to contribute to. My husband's income alone was just not enough. But really, this was my ultimate chance to help others through my e-commerce business and through other means and really tap into my talent. It was now or never. My brother has always said to me, the bigger the risk, the bigger the reward. And now I truly believe him. So I went on to push my little Petite Bamboo business even harder and lift my game. And I started my own web design and development business, which became a roaring success. I really learned everything there is to know about mastering the art of Facebook advertising and AdWords. And I reinvested everything I earned back into the business and really pumped those sales. I can't tell you how much I put everything in. And, I worked on making that side hustle, or what I thought was a side hustle, into something very real. This is one of my bamboo baby wraps that I designed myself and had an overseas manufacturer supply. I put everything into that design and I really made it work. I made sure that professional photography was a priority for me and that I really marketed it properly and ended up replacing that income. My success became very real. I knew I was meant to lose that job that I really thought was for me at the time. The universe had certainly delivered and, some things really do happen for a reason. I could enjoy my new baby and be there for my kids. This is my son graduating from kindy, about to start school, and Finn when he was just a couple of months old. I really felt as though I could have the freedom that I'd always desired. I could be there for my new baby and be there for my kids while earning a decent income. I could be canteen mum, which I'd always wanted, and duck out for a run if I wanted to. The choice was mine, and I just simply loved it. At the time, I'd also discovered that there was a lack of local Sydney WordPress developers, so I began designing websites, just like Watchy Pictures, Instagram flat lay creator. I designed hers. I also designed Susan's from Kinesiology Effect. She wanted mobile tablet responsiveness. She wanted it to be lead generating, and she wanted a web strategy to convert. And she got some really big results. I was so happy for her that I could do that for her. She got more visitors, more clients, and her ROI was ultimately huge. She saw a 500% increase of client love. Her testimonial says it all. I always blush when I read this. Since redesigning my website, I've seen a huge increase. Since redesigning my website, I've seen a huge growth in traffic, leads, and inquiries. I'm so happy that I decided to take the leap and invest the time, says Susan Martinez from Kinesiology Effect. And, these figures are conservative that I can't really share here. So why am I sharing this with you? When I was fired from my job, I searched high and low for a part-time job. But would it have made me happy to be away from my babies? Probably not. I knew there had to be an easier way to bring in an income into the family and a reoccurring income. And really, I'm just a mum of 3 with no formal digital marketing training. I am self-taught, I am self-taught and have grown to a six-figure business over the last 7 years. And trust me, it's much easier than you may think. The thing is, I've researched, tried, and tested so many options, and my methods work. And really, I always like to choose the simplest path. So let me walk you through it. E-commerce success really comes down to getting it right from the start. The branding, the website, the shipping carrier, the integration, the marketing. So many moving parts. Two shipping carriers that I strongly recommend, that's worked for me in my business. Sendle, you might have heard of. It's a courier that offers flat rates, comes to your door to pick up your parcel, and they have a really good support network if anything goes wrong. You know, if you're like me, you pride yourself on customer service, which means not letting your customers down and delivering on time. It must also be financially viable, and the rates mustn't eat into your profit margin. So it's important that you know your numbers, you know your margin and your bottom line, and you can factor in those rates. So Sendle is pretty competitive and definitely worth checking out. Ego.com.au is another favorite of mine. I love them. I had been using them for years, and you simply buy a $50 platinum voucher, which gives you further discounts on shipping rates, sometimes as low as $4 in your local metro area. Then you simply package up your item, go onto Ego's website, enter in your shipping details, pop it on your front doorstep, and they'll collect it and deliver it to your customer. So you can actually do the tracking online, and I found them to be very reliable, affordable, and the package arrives on time and in one piece, which is so important. Instead of fumbling through and trialing Australia Post and all the other carriers out there, I would definitely recommend checking out Sendle and Ego. So, what are my 3 top online strategies that work? The first is knowing your avatar or target market inside and out. Now, you may have heard this before and, have a bit of an eye roll when it comes to this sort of things, but I recommend that, the best way to do that is to just ask them. That's right, get on the phone to a customer who has bought from you and ask for their feedback. Even if it's not what you want to hear, it will mean that you'll be able to grow. It's also handy to send out feedback forms with their order and really take note of their language, phrases that they use, and information that they provide. You can only improve if you know your weak points. And while you can't really please everybody, you might just get consistent feedback on areas that you need to improve your business. So it's really invaluable. Tapping into their pain points and challenges. You can resonate with your audience if you really understand what kind of pain they're going through and how your product is a solution. What kind of challenges are they experiencing? For me and my baby wear business, the challenges were affordable bamboo baby wear. A lot of bamboo products or organic products are expensive, and I wanted it to be within reach of mamas who care about the fabric that they put on their little one's skin. So that was really important to me. So in my email funnels, in my communication on my landing pages, on my website, I'd really tap into those pain points and go deep. And a lot of mums could relate to where that kind of pain, and could see the value in my product and how it, sort of eases that pain or that challenge for them. And for example, my bamboo baby wear business was also designed for mums who care about the quality of garments, and garments that actually last, and, just wanting to be environmentally friendly. So, that my product really worked for me. And the last one is enlist the help of a Facebook ads specialist to run ads for as low as $5 a day, and then simply rinse and repeat. Now, hiring a Facebook ad specialist sounds a bit scary, sounds a bit expensive, and can be, but even if you get some tips or do a course from a Facebook ad specialist, just to really get an overview rather than just boosting posts or sticking spaghetti on the wall and see what works. Try to get some training, because Facebook ads can be very cost effective, and also your return on investment can be huge. So I do recommend, looking around for some experts in this space, and, trialing and optimizing and really understanding Facebook ads, or if you can afford it, hiring an expert, because I do believe paid search has its place and can really be of huge value, a huge game changer in your business. So that leads me to the next area that I wanted, a nice segue into introducing my business in a box. So I've actually rebranded from I Do Digital to Business Boxed. After years of creating product to market fit e-commerce businesses as a professional front-end web developer and digital marketer, and being asked to get involved really on a personal level with the curating of the actual business, I have created the perfect solution. A lot of businesses would come to me and ask for their website to be designed and developed, but because I'm a digital marketer, I've got a lot of knowledge and know-how. I've been there and done that with what works and what doesn't. So I really wanted to provide businesses with a complete solution. As a mum of three myself, I know the angst of, wanting to return to work of some sort, but the hours versus pay just not stacking up by returning to a traditional job. And the quandary of having to choose between work and staying home with the kids just that bit longer. I know that a lot of fellow mums, especially mums from my son's school, used to ask me if I can help them with their business and really emulate the kind of success that I've had. Having an online business is much easier than you may think. There's a very specific formula to get it right, so you make sales and can really make a living from it. You see, the thing is, I know mums who have tried their hand at a side hustle and put a lot of money into it without really seeing a return. I really, really, really don't want this to happen to you or any other mum out there. Forget about the stress of trying to get the branding right, trying to get the website to function properly, and trying to see if you have the correct positioning. My solution is completely done for you. So, what does a business in a box entail? I will provide a complete mobile tablet responsive full e-commerce website, a conceptualized brand. So I help you brainstorm what niche you'd like to get into, how, the name, how it's a good product to market fit. I provide a professional logo, a supplier contact, SEO friendly blogs, social media setup, basic search engine optimization, and also newsletter integration. There's not lots of moving parts when it comes to creating an online business, and I don't want any mum to struggle. So let's just unpack this a little. You'll receive a complete e-commerce website with products loaded, ready to go, logo and placeholder content, so that you're good for launch. WooCommerce setup with your payment gateway is one of the most trickiest parts of setting up an e-commerce business. There's lots of components, order confirmations, payment options, including types of payment gateways. It could be Afterpay, it could be PayPal, Stripe, it could be just bank transfer, and inputting the details on the confirmation order or the checkout page, I should say. And it's having all those moving parts working succinctly so that your website works, so that your products are loaded and that you can check out properly. And a lot goes into it. I normally charge from $4,000 plus GST for a website of this kind, but these are included in my business in a box packages. You'll also get a CMS with a backend. So one of the old school methods for web design and development would be to for the web designer to have complete control over the website and not hand over full admin access. So every time you needed something changed on the website, you'd have to go back to your developer or designer and pay through the roof just to have little changes. But I like to give complete control. I like my customer to have complete control over their website. Their website is theirs to update it and change it, because I understand that needs of the business change and evolves, and you need to be able to access it and not have to pay for every little thing. So my business in a box also comes with a professional logo. and you'll receive a matching color palette. As you can see from this color palette here, it's actually matching. So, the actual colors do match with each other for print and web quality. And it's so important to create a strong brand by having consistency across all your assets. So that comes down to digital assets, your website, and all the elements on your website, but also your communications, your newsletter, could be brochures, could be social media, Facebook banners, and, assets that you create for social media. It's really important to have to use the same colors so people start having that brand recognition. You'll also receive an inspiration board. It'll be a modern and clean style and really everything that you need. You'll also receive a conceptualized brand. So I sell complete packages with an idea in mind. So I might create a yoga package, and you'll purchase the package, the business in the box, and let's just say you've always wanted to work in the yoga space. Perhaps you're a yoga teacher and you're wanting a yoga online store. I work with you to really hone in on that niche, come up with the product to market fit, help you brainstorm with a really sassy name that people will remember. I'm very good at, brainstorming back and forth and really drawing out of you what, you think you want your business name to be. For example, Petite Bamboo was Bamboo Children's Clothes, so the name is very, very suitable. My tagline was small footprints on the planet. So, meaning that there's less imprint on the planet. Bamboo is obviously, petite meaning, it's a French style clothing. So petite's a French word, and bamboo, obviously, it's bamboo. So it suited, really, really well. And to be very clear, before I go into what else is included in the packages, it really is your business handed to you. So what I'm doing is creating a whole business and everything that you need. So it's the conceptualized brand, the logo, the supplier contacts, SEO friendly blogs, basic SEO, social media setup, newsletter integration. So it's not just providing you with a website or a logo or, just one part of what it takes for a business to be set up. I provide absolutely everything that you need. So basic SEO, the normal value of this kind of setup is $1,500 plus GST, and that can be a monthly cost. Some agencies are known to charge through the roof. So what I provide is having a background in SEO, and my business partner was an SEO specialist. I learned so much from her. And so what you receive is 3 professionally written and relevant blogs. So they'll have keywords in them relevant to your industry. You'll have Yoast installed. So this is fundamental. SEO is not set and forget, unfortunately, and you do need to keep working at it. So this will provide a basic setup. And when you have Yoast installed, you'll be able to, you'll also get an education of how to make each page optimized. And that will be great for when you're uploading new blogs and new content. I will install Google Analytics and integrate it with your new website. I'll send your sitemap to Google, really important, and set up your Google Search Console. So 6 pages will be optimized. So it'll be the main 6 pages of your site, potentially your homepage, your About Us, could be, like your top, it could be just your overall product pages. It could be, so supplier contacts. I will have to say that it's pretty priceless when it comes to this. Once you're good to go, sourcing your product from manufacturers who not only speak English but understand a really good quality product and communicating that is just so important. Me supplying a contact who deals directly with these overseas manufacturers. He is Australian, and he will be able to help you source product. So the Australian agent will liaise on unit price, shipping, timings, and actually the product itself. So, with my Bamboo baby wear business, I really just had to follow his lead. So I would give a sample of a garment that I wanted, and I would say I want all these changes to it. I want the arms longer. I want the buttons down the front, or I want a zipper, or I want this color and this fabric. So, it was really a beautiful experience designing my own baby wear label, and I had never done it before. Absolutely never. I didn't even have a fashion background or understood fabrics and thickness of fabrics and, the stretch in them. So really, this agent walks you through it all, and he negotiates, he's totally free. He takes his cut out of the actual cost per unit, and he sources the best price. So he's really one in a million and will save you hours of time by sifting through Alibaba or any of those other suppliers out there. That really you could waste a lot of time and actually a lot of money trying to get the garment right, being sent samples that don't work and that are not right, that are not high quality. And then there's running the risk of paying thousands of dollars for a product that you can't sell because it's, the wrong size or just not a good quality product. So, the beauty of this is my contact lives in Sydney, and he's very, very responsive and very ready to help. So I think that can, and very good at communicating. And you can get in touch straight away and start ordering your product. And there's no wasting time, navigating the language barrier. So unfortunately, whilst the cost per unit from purchasing with overseas manufacturers is considerably lower, sometimes it can just be terribly difficult to navigate the language barrier. And even when you think that they've understood exactly what you want, perhaps, you haven't communicated it correctly and run the risk of, having sort of a dodgy product or a product that, you just can't use, and, feeling that disappointment. So, this supplier contact details, I only give them out to my clients who purchase my business in a box, and, it's fundamentally important. And I'll also throw in my drop shipping guide. So if you're not familiar with drop shipping, it means that you can put products on your website and only purchase from a supplier when you get an order in. So you're not seeing any stock. There's no need for a third-party logistics warehouse. You're only ordering what you need. Now, drop shipping can be more expensive, so something to be aware of. So the cost per unit, there's not as much margin. However, you could absorb that by having your prices a little bit higher. There's lots of opportunity there, and it cuts out a lot of costs as well, having to store stock and having to move stock that you can't sell. Imagine buying thousands of dollars worth of stock that, is sitting in a warehouse that you just can't shift. So really important, really lots of potential with drop shipping, and I've got a bit of a guide of how to do that. Also worthwhile to note is that my agent deals with, he's a fashion designer himself, and he's now set up his own business, and he designs for Witchery and Saba and Rebel Sport. So yeah, really, really good contact there. And he helped me set up my Petite Bamboo brand. I'll also set up your social media accounts. There's a bit of an art to getting them right. So, I will do a Facebook banner, obviously insert your logo, do the easy stuff, but also make sure that your Instagram profile is set up correctly, has the right wording. And I will do, a complimentary Facebook banner, which is great. So, why go down this path? Well, I think it's really, really important to invest in yourself and earn an income while staying home with the kids. It's just so important. I mean, when I was made redundant from my last job working for the man, I was devastated because I thought I'd finally found an okay paying job, working part-time, and I thought it's perfect around the kids. But in reality, if I minus the daycare fees, it really isn't a good salary, my part-time job. I couldn't work full-time because I didn't want to work full-time with 3 kids. So really, I really yearned for that income while staying home with the kids, and a real income, not one of those spammy, work from home scams. I'm definitely not into that. This is a real business. that's what I think that there's potential for, because I've lived it. You know, I've had absolutely no desire to ever go and work for somebody again, because I know the formula it takes uh, to make it on your own. You know, and there's also saving time by a done for you package. There's no, you know, fiddling around on Canva or trying to find a graphic designer who just really understands your brand and your logo, and who can design a professional logo with all the files that you need. And there's no spending time on Shopify or WordPress trying to get the website right, trying to get the look, the feel, you know, the functionality, and try to get it to actually convert for you, most importantly. You know, you just can't afford to have a shoddy website. Poor design reflects badly on your brand. One of the first impressions that a customer will have of you usually is to check out your website. And if it doesn't look great, that can represent your brand. People may think that your product's not great. Have you ever been to a poor website and you think, well, that's not really that professional, I'll click off, you know? And if you are doing your own design, your own website design with a designer, you're at the mercy of them for 8 weeks with no sales. This is a complete done for you website. I'm literally just handing over the login details. And you know, you could have lots of calls to action that lead to nowhere, means you're missing out on sales. I will have all the right calls to action on your website. So you're really having this one complete solution. So if you're anything like me, time is so very precious, you know, with the kids and potentially your husband, and, you know, the drop off and the pickups and everything that goes along with school. I don't think you can afford to have time to figure out how to put an online business together. There's just too many components and too many moving parts. So I know how to tie it all together. I've learned through trial and error, through testing and optimizing. I know how to make sure that you have your best foot forward and a really strong start to an online business. You know, that you have a website with the right functionality, with a really professional design, you know, that looks great. And so people want to buy from you, and really a strategy that converts. So, you know, I've come a long way from, you know, running with self-hosted platforms like BigCommerce and Shopify to, you know, launching my own online business and learning professional web design with WordPress. So I'm giving you those skills and expertise all wrapped up in a business in a box. You know, I hear, and if you're already running a online business, I hear time and time again, and I see so many Facebook posts where their website's just not converting. Then when I check out their website, I can see so many glaring errors. I'm always happy to share my advice. So, you know, the website that isn't converting is hugely important. Potentially, these people have spent thousands and thousands on a website, or hours and hours of time trying to get their website to look and function properly and ultimately convert for them, because that is the ultimate goal. Is yes, it's to have an online presence, but so if you're an online business, it's so people will buy. So what is the investment for the business in a box? So let's just run through that. You get a complete mobile tablet responsive full e-commerce website, normally valued at $4,000 plus GST and upwards. You get a conceptualized, mapped out brand valued at 1,000. You get a professional logo with all the necessary assets valued at 600. You get supplier contact details, SEO friendly blogs, and that's valued at 1,500. It includes basic search engine optimization, and you get social media setup valued at 300. So the total price and the total investment is 2,990, and that's really a savings of $7,000. Not to mention all the time and effort to try to figure it out on your own, to really not really make it in the end. My solution is a complete out of the box solution, ready to start business straight away. I'm also offering for a very limited time 3 months entry into our digital school. Now, once you launch a business, it's really important to learn digital marketing. So I will be teaching Instagram marketing, Facebook ad strategy and setup, and how to run campaigns and how to get a return on investment. We'll be walking you through Google AdWords, social media management, SEO, high converting strategies for your website. So, it's a monthly academy, and I'm offering 3 months bonus entry into the digital school. So you really have your best foot forward when it comes to launching your online business. Your success is my success. So, next steps, if you'd like to discuss any of my Business in a Box packages, I am inviting you to get on a call with me to discuss, and simply head over to the link below and let's chat. If you book in a call with me within the next 15 minutes, I'm also offering my ultimate guide to SEO training. It's valued at $490 and it really gives you the best possible start when it comes to ranking your business online. The reason I wanted to give this away is because I'm very, very passionate about helping mums achieve the level of success that I've had. It hasn't come without hard work and dedication, but I know that if I can do it, I know that anybody can. I don't want to see any mum struggle and have the quandary of whether to return to work or negotiating with their boss, or really struggle financially and feel the burden of not being able to bring in a decent income. I don't really discuss my salary with very many people, but I started to now because I have achieved this success. It is very real for me. And now I'm at a point where I can't ever imagine going back and working for somebody. I know the kind of success that I can have with my own online business. And I'm very passionate about my Business in a Box. I know that they could help so many mums out there. So I'm really inviting you to jump on a call with me to discuss. You head over to the link, and it is businessboxed.com.au/call, and book in a convenient time. And I hope to chat to you soon. Thanks. Bye. So, where are they now? I think it's important to demonstrate some of the business packages that I've designed and developed, and this was one of them. So, this was a business that I created called Milk Bar Breast Pumps, and we sold this to the new owner, Diane, and she's actually made a roaring trade of her business and had huge online success. So, I always like the name Milk Bar Breast Pumps as a unique business name to really specialize in pumps. And as India, my daughter, was born so preemie, hospital grade pumps was absolutely fundamental in the process of trying to feed India when she was in hospital. So I thought it would be a good idea to put together very fast hospital grade breast pumps, and a business selling those to really fulfill that need where, at the time I really struggled to find, breast pumps that were hospital grade and that weren't actually sold in a hospital, but just sold in the marketplace. So I put together this lovely little business, and Diana has taken this to great lengths and has really made a success of it. Let's also have a look at the Care Package project. So I created this business to really fulfill a need for new mums that were really struggling on their own and perhaps needed a little bit of support. So the Care Package project was providing, very unique packages of flowers, or a complete meal, or lovely little packages that you could send to a mum in a time of need. So I packaged up this business, designed the e-commerce website. My business partner at the time designed the logo, and we packaged it up and sold it to a local mum. The local mum that we sold it to was really looking for something in between wanting to work, not particularly wanting to go back into the field she was already working in, and really just starting small and developing the business. And we had already done the hard work by sourcing the suppliers for the flowers and the meals, so finding a cleaner. And we'd really packaged it up so that it was a complete business ready for her to launch. We even created a Facebook page and had generated 4,000 Facebook fans. So she had a really strong start to her business.